Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dawgland. I am Anthony Joki. Alongside me here is Jack McCurry. Today we are going to quickly discuss an article that came out from The Athletic by Jason Lloyd, who has been a phenomenal member of the media for as long as I can remember. And it's not a fun one that we're going to sit here and talk about, and we're not going to go into too much detail because it is on the Athletic and it is behind a paid wall, and you should subscribe to check it out. But there are a few things that have been said publicly about the article, by him, and Jack, we knew that things with Deshaun Watson has not been great over his tenure here in Cleveland. This article really um, iterates that or reiterates that, and I think one of the more pressing things that was said in the article is how um, the offense he thought was going to be completely different, and how Joe Flacco was able to learn it in a couple of days, and Watson really didn't pick it up his whole time here. What were your thoughts on what Jason Lloyd put out today?
I mean, a lot of the stuff we already kind of knew. Like we knew bits and pieces, like obviously about the offensive struggles. Like we knew that because obviously we seen it. We heard about it in training camp, despite the majority of the media going, "Oh, this offense is fine. It's going to be good. We're going to have a great year." Blah blah blah. But you could see it right away, and like some of the messages that the team was putting out there, like Watson not doing a certain drill at the Greenbrier while the other quarterbacks were doing it, and Watson was off to the side. Like that was eyebrow raising at first, but when Jason Lloyd pieced it all together for this article, and he said he had been working on it for some time. The whole thing about Joe Flacco, he said he was sitting on for the last year. It was pretty eye opening. I mean, there was some stuff in there that we didn't know, and we can get into it a little bit, but like just the whole saga to this thing, Anthony, has just been completely like defeating as a Browns fan because, you know, we were riding high with Baker Mayfield after 2020. 2021 was what it was. And then we knew they were going to move on. We all said that that was the right thing. But when they made the trade for Deshaun Watson, a lot of us did not like it. You want the team to do whatever it takes to find a franchise quarterback. But the fact that they went and acquired Watson and everything we've had to deal with in the 3 years since, like we said it in the group chat the other day, like this is going down as the worst sports trade of all time just because of how it has tore this franchise apart to the point where it was finally resurrecting into a good solid franchise. It's completely deflating.
One of the things that the Athletic did put out on their X account was a small little excerpt, and it said, "Players told me," and this is Jason Lloyd. Players told me there was a constant heaviness surrounding Watson in the locker room, and that they felt a different energy in the building upon his departure after his Achilles injury in October. A couple of veterans told me it felt like a cloud had been lifted. Now, you could also kind of say this for last year after his shoulder injury and Joe Flacco came in. You could tell that there was a different vibe around the building. And you could definitely tell this season too, after he went out with that Achilles injury, just the mood completely changed when Jameis Winston came in and was your starter.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the same as the Joe Flacco experience and that whole ride at the end of 2023, but like the first game post Watson against the Ravens, uh, Jameis Winston ripping the ball down the field, Cedric Tillman looking like an NFL wide receiver. We beat the Ravens, which is amazing that two of our three wins this year was against playoff teams, both our rivals in the AFC North. But like you could just tell the difference in the offense, whether it was Flacco, whether it was Winston, like they made it look like an NFL offense. Yes, Winston didn't have the same like level of play that Flacco did. Obviously, both of them threw a lot of turnovers, but the whole vibe around the team, I think, was a lot stronger with Joe Flacco than it was with Jameis Winston, but you could just tell like Watson not being out there, the offense looking so much better, like it's going to create a better vibe for the whole team. But it was like it just goes to show that like, and I feel like a lot of it, the mental side for Deshaun Watson's game has been gone the last couple of years, and I don't think it's ever going to come back. But then you could see like the cracks in his physical game, like the arm strength wasn't there anymore. Just he couldn't. It just he didn't look like an NFL quarterback, and that just I think this year was like the final nail in the coffin. Like last year was yeah, this is definitely not looking like a good thing. Obviously, after the first year, everybody just wanted to say it was rust, but you could just tell like Deshaun Watson's not an NFL quarterback anymore. I don't think he's ever coming back from this now. Like I just think it is done for him, especially after two Achilles ruptures. Like it the signs are on the wall. Like Deshaun Watson's completely done.
Yeah, that kind of goes into, more so what my next question and statement is I don't think he can ever take the field again as a Cleveland Brown. I don't think he ever will. He'll be on the roster just for cap purposes until they're finally able to let him go. But there's no way that he can ever take the field again for the Browns.
No, I don't think so. And I think like the messages that were being put out there by the team leaders the last couple of weeks of the season, I think that just told you everything. Like Miles Garrett was frustrated, but I think he wanted answers about the direction of the team and what they were going to do at the quarterback position, more specifically with Watson. And it's going around now on Hard Knocks. He goes, "We're not that far away." Because I think he knows that they're going to be aggressive to go after the quarterback of the future, try to find a veteran because the defense is ready to win now. I think they're going to try to find somebody that can help the team win now. Maybe a rookie can. Well, that's to be determined, but Miles saying that they're not far away, like I think that kind of tells you like they know that Watson's in their rearview mirror and they're going to try to salvage it as best they can. Uh, Joel Batonio and Jack Conklin saying things about the offense and like you can't design the offense around one person. I think that kind of tells you all you need to know. Like they did not like the offensive changes. Um, it, I'm glad we're going back to them, but I think like the leaders telling you without saying it, it kind of tells you how they feel truly about Deshaun Watson.
I, it touched upon this a little bit in the article, but how do we feel Stefanski felt about this whole thing over this last couple years, trying to maybe make this work or finally realizing that it wasn't going to work and just kind of biding his time until we got to this point.
I mean, a lot of people can take it this article doesn't do him any favors. Because I will just point out the one thing, and it's been posted on social media. Um, Watson, he wouldn't criticize Deshaun Watson in front of the team, like in film sessions, like when Watson wasn't making the right reads or right throws. But when Jameis Winston replaced him, like Stefanski was calling out the quarterbacks or calling out the quarterback. And I think that's a bad look for Stefanski. But I also feel like at the same time, I think like people above him were kind of empowering Kevin Stefanski to like not try to uh tear into Deshaun, and maybe that was more of a thing to like try to up his mental health and like trying not to completely keep tearing him down. But it's not a good look for Stefanski, but at the same time I don't think he was all in on Deshaun. I think he tried his best to get the best out of him and tried to uh try to get Watson to fit around the offense, but then, the organization decided like we're going to try to put the offense around Watson and try to cater it to him, and ultimately that didn't work. So I think Kevin's going to get his chance to make things right. I think this whole organization's on the hot seat going into 2025, Anthony, but we'll see how this all comes out on the other side, and hopefully it's good for the Browns.
If it doesn't work this year, then it's going to be a complete teardown. Head GM will be gone. Head coach will be gone. Miles Garrett will be gone. Denzel Ward will probably be gone. Batonio will probably retire. This roster, if it doesn't work after this season, it's not going to be pretty. Everything's going to get completely torn down. So, it better work this year.
Yeah, without a doubt. Like this is the one this is the season where they got to do it. I don't think it'll be a complete teardown because like Miles is getting paid this offseason, so they're not gonna be able to move that contract once he officially gets extended. But I think everybody else is kind of up in the air. I think Miles will probably be really questioning the offense for sure before he signs on the dotted line. But I do think like this is the make or break year for Barry and Stefanski. They got to get the quarterback right in the draft, and they got to try to hit some home runs and try to get some more wins back on the board because they can't do another 3-14, 4-13 season. Like they have to go out and put a competitive team on the field and hopefully get back to the playoffs.
Yeah, they absolutely have to get back to the playoffs. I feel like this next season, or at least win 10, 11 games and maybe just miss the playoffs. But if you're at that point with 10, 11 wins, you're in a pretty decent spot. Sometimes you can't control how the rest of the playoff picture shakes out, but um, you know 11 will probably get you in at that point. All right, that's gonna do it for us. Reacting to this article. Be sure to go check it out. Jason Lloyd, the Athletic. You all know who he is if you follow the Browns. He's done great work, and it's a privilege just to kind of talk about it. It was a great article, so please go read it. Uh, Follow Jack at Jack McCurry 08. I finally fixed his little banner over here. It's been wrong this whole time. I just realized that a little bit ago. So that's the right account to follow him on X at. Be sure to follow me at Anthony Joki, Joki. And until next time, always remember, go Browns.